Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning, depending on where you are, or evening. It is Steve Lookner with Agenda Free TV. We are coming to you live because in about 15 minutes, I should get our clock up. In about 15 minutes, there's going to be a press conference, a news conference, press briefing, news briefing, whatever you want to call it, on yesterday's terrible Tennessee explosion at an explosives plant where it left 18 people dead or missing. 18 people dead or missing. So we're going to get a press conference coming up. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do, if I can put it up on the screen, I'm going to put up the, let's see here, the countdown clock. If I can get it up on the screen really quickly here. Hang on. Okay, that's that. That's that. The last thing I have to do is press conference in. Did I do it right? Let's see if this worked. There it is. There it is on your screen right now. Press conference in 13 minutes. And you can see here from AP, officials investigate blast at Tennessee explosives plant that left 18 missing and feared dead. All right, so we are going to bring you this live, but this is a really terrible incident that happened yesterday about 60 miles outside of Nashville at an explosives plant, at Accurate Energetic Systems explosives plant. Give me a second. I'm just making sure. It's possible we'll get some video early, but the video has not gone live yet. But we are supposed to have live video of this press conference. Again, 18 people dead or missing. Terrible. So I appreciate you being here, and we will have the live video for you. We're supposed to. And also, I want to say thanks to our moderators. Beth Mythical and Carms and Janet B. are all moderating right now over there on YouTube. Thank you so much. Linda Belk, Misha, and Larry moderate for us on X. Over there on Twitch, we have our moderators over there, and also our Facebook moderators too. Thank you. Give me 1 second here. Oops, I'm hearing two of me. For 1 second, I'll fix that. Thanks to Sharon Klassen Gosselin for subscribing over there on Facebook, and Kristen McConnell Gates. Thank you. Yes, thanks to all of our Facebook and Twitch moderators as well. All right, let's do this. All right, let me just give you a little background on this. But in about 11 minutes, it's supposed to start if it starts on time. If it starts on time. We'll see if it does. Thank you, Mrs. Ed3 for being a member, and Carrie West for being a member, or Carl West for being a member over there on YouTube. All right, so you can see right here, officials investigate blast at Tennessee explosives plant that left 18 missing and feared dead. Families of the 18 people missing and feared dead waited anxiously Saturday for answers. The explosion Friday morning at Accurate Energetic Systems, which supplies and researches explosives for the military, scattered debris over a half-mile area and was felt by residents more than 15 miles away, said the Humphreys County Sheriff. Aerial footage showed the company's hilltop locations smoldering and smoky, with a mass of twisted metal, burned-out shells of cars, and an array of debris left behind. The sheriff, Humphreys County Sheriff, described it as one of the worst scenes he's ever seen, said multiple people were killed. He declined to say how many, referring to the 18 missing as souls because officials were still speaking to family. The company's website says it processes explosives and ammunition at an 8-building facility that sprawls across wooded hills in the Bucksnort area about 60 miles southwest of Nashville. It is not immediately known how many people work at the plant or how many were there when the explosion happened. Investigators are trying to determine what happened and could not say as of yesterday what caused the explosion. Accurate Energetic Systems, the company, based in nearby McEwen, said on a post on social media that their thoughts and prayers were with the families and community impacted. Give me 1 second here. So very shortly, we're supposed to have this press conference for you. Give me 1 moment here. This is from the Accurate Energetic Systems webpage. I'm going to show you the post that they made on their webpage. Here is the post from the company webpage. It said, at approximately 7:45 a.m., that's yesterday, there was a tragic accident at our facility. Emergency response teams and investigative agencies remain on the scene, and the situation is under active investigation. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families, co-workers, and community members affected by this incident. We extend our gratitude to all first responders who continue to work tirelessly under difficult conditions. We will provide updates as more verified information becomes available. Now, I'm just checking because this is supposed to start very soon, but the video has not gone live yet. Let me read a couple comments from you guys. Let's see here. Yeah, some of our viewers have commented that, the scene is utter devastation. I don't know that, it might be difficult to find remains, as I don't want to be morbid, but it's the situation was, I actually have a couple of photos here, not graphic, but from the AP article. Let me just show you. But it's really devastation at the scene. So let's see here. I believe these are from WTVF, but they're AP photos from WTVF. So let me just throw a couple up on the screen right now, if I can. Here's one. That's a car right there. See, that's a car. Again, this is from WTVF via Associated Press. I think I have this graph here. And then there's another one here. There, yeah, that one. That shows you there was a bigger building there. See that right there? That was where the building was, and there was a parking lot here, up here. I'm going to make this a little smaller if I can. Oops, that's the other one. I don't want that one. I want this one. So there was a parking lot up here where the cars were. Up here, and then this was a building in the middle, and then there was a road that went around it. But now most of the building is just gone. There was a whole building here, and most of the building is just gone. And I think the road is like covered with debris, maybe. I have not seen footage of the actual explosion itself. All right, hang on a moment. I don't want to miss the briefing. So the press conference is supposed to start in 5 minutes. But the video hasn't gone live yet. Thank you, KWNY Upstate. Yeah, so it's when they say feared dead, I'm guessing that means they haven't found remains yet, but they haven't found the people. But I mean, you can see the devastation at the actual scene. So maybe right now it's just a question of I guess it could be a miracle and people could turn up who are missing, but maybe it's more of a question of just going through trying to find remains. It's just terrible. Free Schneeby says, was the property secure? Security guards? I don't know, and I don't know. We don't know the cause of this right now. Maybe, look, we're supposed to get this update from authorities in just a few minutes, so maybe there'll be more today on what the suspected cause of this explosion is. We'll be hearing more. Again, it's scheduled to start in about 4 minutes. The video is not live yet that I have, so give me one moment here. Excuse me. Yeah, the video's not live yet. We're supposed to have live videos from the Reuters feed. Yes, this facility that exploded, it's an explosives plant. They produce explosives and they do research there. I'm just keeping an eye out because I'm guessing any moment the video. Uh-oh, what's happening now? Oh, there was a little hiccup. I don't know why there was a little hiccup on the feed. Refresh your feed if there's a problem. Sorry, I don't know why that happened. There was a little bit of a hiccup on the feed, so we're back though. I don't know. I haven't had that happen here. I am still in Madrid. I am still in Madrid, Spain. I am not in my normal. I'm not on my normal setup. So I apologize for any kind of issue that might happen. Again, I'm not on my normal setup. So things have been pretty good while I've been here, but I do apologize for any kind of technical issue that might come up. Again, I'm not in my normal setup. I'm doing this from Madrid, Spain, but hopefully we're okay. I don't know what that was. So bear with me. Let's hope we don't have any of those again. So I think we're back right now. All right. So this is supposed to start in about a minute, but the video is not posted yet. Nope, I don't see it yet. I'm looking at a couple different sources. So I don't want to get distracted and miss the start of it. Thank you, I Am Charlie, by the way. I Am Charlie says, prayers for the victims and their families. So while we're waiting for this to start, what I'm going to do, maybe I'll throw this. Give me a moment here. I'm going to put this over here. Put that there so I can keep an eye on it. And while I put that there, I'm going to show you this. You can see here, Reuters says, blast destroys Tennessee munitions plant, 18 missing and feared dead. Oh, what I need to do is, in 9 seconds, I got to get rid of the clock and then change the headline because it'll basically be any moment. Yeah, so it's not starting on time. All right, so any moment now it's supposed to start. So let me change the headline to any moment, Tennessee explosion press conference. Why did it explode? We don't know yet. Reuters says 18 people are missing and feared dead following an explosion at a munitions factory in rural Tennessee that obliterated the building and was felt for miles around. The explosion caused multiple fatalities, but officials had yet to determine a death toll as of late Friday night. The local sheriff, Humphreys County Sheriff Chris Davis, says there's not going to be a short explanation for that. FBI and ATF investigators are at the scene. When asked to describe the building where the blast occurred, Davis said, "There's nothing to describe, it's gone." Davis initially said 19 people were missing, but WSMV television later reported one of those believed missing was found safe at home. Well, that's good. The company, Accurate Energetic Systems, develops, manufactures, and stores explosives for military, aerospace, and commercial demolition markets, according to the company's website. The 1,300-acre headquarters in Bucksnort, Tennessee, includes 8 production buildings and a quality lab. The Hickman County Mayor Jim Bates told CNN the plant did not have a history of safety problems, although there was a small ammunition explosion there in 2014 that killed 1 person and injured 3. Now, I'm still waiting to get the video of this. And I still don't see it posted yet. Hang on a moment here. It's not posted on either of the 2 sources I see. Yet. It's not live yet. Give me one moment. Now what's happening? All right, I see, hold on a second now. Now what's going on? I see it's being set up, but I don't have my feed yet. So it hasn't started yet. I can tell you it has not started yet. I at least have eyes on the microphones, but the video I have access to has not started yet. Give me a moment here. One moment. Hang on one second. Yeah, it has not started yet. The feeds I have access to have not started yet, and the briefing has not started yet. But I think we're getting close to it. Sorry, I'm just, sometimes this happens when something's about to start, and I need to just keep an eye on it. Yeah, I can't just use any feed of it. There are certain feeds I have the rights to. So I can't just take any feed I want from any news outlet and show it on my channel. There are 2 feeds I do have access to, but neither of those have started yet. Thank you to Dude for your support also, and also Nikolai Orlov. Thank you. Also Georgia Peach in the Zulgrunt. Yesterday, I did not have access to any of them. But today, I'm supposed to have access to 2 different feeds, but I'm not seeing either one live yet. But it hasn't started yet. So I just have my eyes on it. As soon as I get something, I will put it up on the screen. Thanks for bearing with me. This was about 60 miles southwest of Nashville. Again, waiting for either of the feeds that I have access to actually go live. The briefing has not started yet. We are here to cover the briefing. That's why I keep looking. I'm looking at the different sources. Who knows, maybe they'll say that they found some people who they thought were missing. That would be good. Yesterday they said 19 were dead and missing. Today it was the latest I've seen is 18. Yeah, it hasn't started yet. Scott Goad says, 1 found at home. Exactly. Again, I can tell you the briefing hasn't started yet. Hopefully, either of the 2 feeds I have access to goes live shortly so I can put the video on the screen. I am hoping. I'm looking at both of them right now. And then after the briefing, we'll take your comments and questions on the air. Situation is still the same. Hasn't started yet. The 2 feeds I'm looking at haven't gone live yet. I wonder if there's maybe security camera footage of the actual explosion somewhere. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had security cameras there. Now, you might say, well, the cameras maybe didn't survive or something, but maybe the stuff goes to the cloud. But I have yet to see any kind of footage of the actual explosion. Again, it has not started. The videos I'm watching hasn't started. EJ Rod says probably is classified. Well, it is interesting because they do make explosives for the military there. Brian Baker says ring camera footage exists. I'm 20 minutes away from this town. No, it is. It's about. It is supposed to be underway. 11:30 Eastern time was the designated start time, but it's just delayed. It's a little odd. Both Reuters and AP are supposed to have a stream, and neither of them are live yet. AP says, when the explosion occurred, residents in Lobelville, a 20-minute drive from the scene, said they felt their homes shake, and some people captured the loud boom of the explosion on their home cameras. We are still waiting for this to start. Maybe they will have an update on what caused this. This was an explosion yesterday at a explosives plant in Tennessee that killed or 18 people are dead or missing. 18. And so I'm just keeping my eyes on the feeds because as soon as I get any video, I want to put it on the screen for you. It is unclear what caused this explosion at this explosives facility. They make some explosives for the military, the U.S. military, and other clients. Was it a gas explosion? I do not know what kind of explosion it was. Sorry I don't have the video yet. I hate making you guys wait, but again, I can only give it to you when I have it. But again, I can tell you that it hasn't started yet. All right, it's now local time, 11:44 a.m. there. Again, the company's website says it processes explosives and ammunition at an 8-building facility about 60 miles southwest of Nashville. That's from AP. And the Humphreys County Sheriff said that there's not going to be a short explanation for the explosion. Thank you again to our mods who are here as we wait for this briefing, press conference. Beth Mythical, Ruth Krafasi, Janet B. They are all there. And also our moderators, I got that fire on Twitch. Thank you for being there. And Linda Belk, Larry, Misha moderating for us on X. Thanks. Kay Lowry Body is moderating over on Facebook. Shannon Davis Hughes. Thanks to all of our moderators. I really appreciate it. We are still waiting for it to begin, and I'm still waiting for either of these two feeds I have access to go live. So I am sorry for the wait. It's a bit odd that neither the Reuters nor the AP feed is live yet. Jerry Starchild thinks it was an inside job and things like this just don't happen. Well, something I was saying yesterday when we were talking about this last night is I'm sure there's all kinds of precautions at the plant they have to prevent this kind of thing from happening. I mean, obviously they know they're working with dangerous materials. So why would it still what goes wrong to have this happen when, in spite of those precautions? Yeah, I don't want to get into any other topics right now because, again, I need to keep an eye on the feeds because this could start right away. So I don't want to miss the start of it. Joel Zadebski says, things like this do happen. Thank you, Saudi BB, by the way. I don't see anybody at the podium yet on the video that I don't have the rights to. Grimmod says, how many deaths reported? 18 dead or missing. I don't know that there's been an exact number of dead reported, but 18 dead or missing. No, this has nothing to do with the time zone, guys. Major news agencies had the start of the time listed, so it has nothing to do with the wrong time zone. It was supposed to start at 11:30 Eastern time, 5:30 where I am. It's 5:50 now in Madrid. Yeah, local time there is Central Time. But again, this was not... I was just going off of the news agencies, their listings of the time start. Oh, Reuters just updated their stream and said it's going to start in 10 minutes. Reuters just changed the start time on their stream, which is not live yet, and it says 10 minutes. That's interesting. I guess that's something. That just changed on their site. In the meantime, what I'm going to do is, so I have something to show you, let's go look at one of the articles here. And I will put this over here. So sorry for the delay with everything, but again, it's starting a little late. Here is the headline from AP. Yes, I'm still in Madrid. Officials investigate blast at Tennessee explosives plant. This happened yesterday. That left 18 missing and feared dead. Thank you, Jean-Paul Lachance. I very much appreciate it. Jean-Paul Lachance, thank you. Master Meatball says, was it an accident? Was it terrorism? I have not heard anything yet that suggests, there's no reporting yet that suggests it was maliciously done. But at the same time, as of yesterday, there was no indication of what the cause was. So maybe we'll hear more about it today. Actually, why is this now all... You can't see some of this here. I need to fix this. Why can you not see some of the article? There you go. That's better. I think I fixed it for you. Did I fix it for you? Oh. Let's see. Hold on a second here. I think I figured this out. There we go. No, that's better. Okay, so I am looking. I can update you. Somebody is putting another mic onto the podium. So again, it has not started yet, and like looks like a camera person is adding another mic to the podium. So just to update you on what's happening at the actual scene while we wait for one of our live feeds to start. It looks like the Reuters feed is supposed to start in 6 minutes. While we have a second here, what I'm going to show you is the map that shows where this happened and then the picture. So this is a Google Maps. Hang on, I got to adjust this for a second. This is from Google Maps. Okay? And that's the building right there. And then there's the parking lot. Oh, you know what's happening at the scene right now? So just to update you. Again, I'm supposed to get the live shot from the press conference scene shortly. But there's a helicopter landing near the press conference. So my guess is maybe there's an official or officials who have just arrived, because on the stream that I can't show you, but I can see, there's a helicopter that's landing near where the press conference is going to take place. So my guess is that maybe that's one or more of the officials that's going to be at the press conference. Maybe that's what they were waiting for. So I can tell you that that's happening. Is it the governor? I don't know if it's the governor. But I can see the helicopter. So it is currently, according to Reuters, their feed is supposed to start in about 3 minutes. All right, so in the meantime, that's the building where it happened. And the picture, I'll show you the picture. If I can pull it up here. Give me a second. I'm going to pull up this picture. I have to pull up the picture for you. Let me pull up this photo. Here it is. I got it. I got it. So there is the building. See if I can show it to you both ways. So, here is the thing here. Oh, there. So, oh, that's not the one I wanted to show you. There. So, no, there it is, right. See the building there? So there's the building. That's before. That's before. You see the building and the round road around it in the parking lot. And here's the after. Basically, the whole building is gone. You can still see the road around it, but, not very well. The round road in the parking lot. And there's again the before. And then here's the after. That picture is from AP, and it's originally by WTVF, that photo that you're looking at right there. All right, so to update you on this press conference, it was supposed to start a half hour ago, about 28 minutes ago, but a helicopter is just landed right where the press conference is going to be. So I don't know if that's the governor or somebody else, but maybe they were waiting for somebody to show up. Hopefully, in the next couple minutes, we will get our... Now, there's an ambulance. Why am I seeing an ambulance? The helicopter landed. Now there's an ambulance, but its lights aren't on. I don't know what's going on. Is it a life flight helicopter? What's going on? I don't know. I'm looking right now. So I have my eyes on, there's a helicopter. It looks like an air evac. It looks like a medical helicopter has landed at the scene, but they're not rushing around. It's kind of odd. Where the press conference is going to be. A helicopter landed like 5 minutes ago, and then an ambulance pulled up. So I don't really know what's going on. Hopefully we get our feed shortly and I can just show you on the screen. Yeah, Air Evac Life Team helicopter landed. Oh yeah, one of our viewers thinks it could be a body recovery. Well, I don't know, would they have an Air Evac Life Team helicopter for a body recovery? And again, nobody's rushing around. So, kind of odd. What happened is the camera I had an eye on, which I can't show you, was focused on the podium, and then it just kind of panned over, and now you see there's a helicopter landed, and there's an ambulance there, but nobody's rushing around. So it's kind of confusing. Give me a moment here. So. Oh, okay, I have an update for you. I have an update for you about the timing. Ready? So, hopefully the Reuters feed will go live any moment now. I just got an update from Associated Press, which has a camera there as well. So Associated Press says that AP told me that they just told news outlets that the sheriffs are still with the families, and there is no clear indication when the presser will start exactly. We are monitoring and will be live as soon as it begins. So AP says they are going live, but they haven't gone live yet because the sheriffs are still with the families. That is a bit odd. I mean, one of our viewers said maybe some body parts were found. Again, it's very strange. Hopefully I can get a feed shortly that I can show you. There's a feed I'm looking at which I can't show you, which is a local feed, which literally in the field behind the podium, a life flight evacuation helicopter landed about 10 minutes ago. Nobody's rushing around, and an ambulance pulled up, but again, nobody's rushing around, and I don't really know what's going on. Maybe they did find somebody, I don't know. There's been nothing graphic has been shown on that feed I'm watching. Well, again, the Reuters feed said they were going to start 2 minutes ago, so hopefully they start. But, oh, hold on, I might have gotten another update here. Ugh. Oh, well, now I might have to use the AP feed. Hold on a second here. Now I'm hearing Reuters might not have a feed because they say they're having an issue with their signal. So we may have to use the AP feed. AP says they're going live when it's going to start, but they don't know when it's going to start. So I'm sorry for the delay, everybody. I'm going to say soon on our, the podium is all set up. It was supposed to start 53 minutes ago. Well, sometimes these things happen. Give me one moment here. What's happening here? Give me one moment. What's this? One moment. Hang on one sec. All right, sorry about that. Did they give a 2-minute warning? So Reuters is still not live, and AP is still not live. I wonder if they're even having issues with their signal. Both of them are supposed to be covering it, and both of them are not live yet. So strange. Sorry for all the confusion today with the feeds. It's kind of strange. But I'm just waiting to get the video. Chapman said, did WSMV have issues as well? Is everybody having, it's possible that all the channels, a lot of the channels are having connection issues. That might be what it is. Yeah, AP, so Reuters and AP, they were both supposed to carry it. Neither of them is live right now. Those are the two feeds I would have. Hang on. If nothing else, maybe I can at least get you audio somehow. Let me try to prepare for a backup. I do apologize. I mean, normally if both Reuters and AP say they're covering it, they're covering it. I think it's about to start. Hold on a second. Hold on. I'm getting it for you right now. It's about to start right now. I'm getting it for you right now. Just hang on a moment. It's going to take me a second. It's going to take me a second to get this live. I just got the AP feed. Hold on. It's going to take me like 20 seconds. It's about to start right now. I just got the AP feed. So hold on. I'm getting it up on the screen for you. I apologize, but I can only get it up there as soon as it comes through. So I see the AP feed. I'm getting it on the screen for you momentarily. I'm waiting for it to start here.
We got communities here.
Hold on, I'm putting it up on the screen right now. I'm putting it up on the screen for you. Thanks for your patience. I'm putting it up on the screen right now. Here it is. Hold on. Hold on a second. Thanks. Hang on. Here it is, coming up. There it is. I see it. Why is it like that? AP's having problems with their signal. Oh, AP's having problems with their signal. Oh my gosh, crazy. AP is cutting in and out. So I'm gonna put the AP feed on right now for you, but it's a little bit of a crazy situation here. I can see it right now. They are having issues with their signal. All right, guys, here it is. I'm throwing it live for you right now. I may have to ask AP for a refund for this one. Oh no, look at this signal. Look at this. Look at this. There it is. Oh my gosh.
We're finding things that's more volatile as time has went, or as the explosion has damaged or influenced those ordnance in some way, form, or fashion.
All right, here we go.
But we've gone to extremes as working with the FBI and being able to do things with the phones and identify what phones went off at the time of the explosion, trying to figure out everything inside the scene. I can tell you that we've had more than probably 300 people. It's done very delicate, very methodical things inside the scene. And at this time, we have recovered those survivors. Again, it's a great loss to our communities.
Very sorry about the video. This is the AP video. They're having a problem with their signal.
Sheriff Davis said, like I said, this thing is changing constantly. Like I said, we're trying to do our best to take care of the families. AES has been great, sitting up with family support. FBI, ATF is also here. TBI, about any, I can't even think of all the departments.
I'm scared to name them all.
it's just been overwhelming with all the help that's come in to assist with this tragedy that we're dealing with. Like I said, it's been minute by minute. Like I said, we found out this morning some changes in the protocol and what we're having to deal with. And it's like we were already going slow. Now we're slowing things down even more. Just for safety for everybody.
And that's exactly one of the questions that we had, or knowing coming into this conference. You see the ambulances here, you see the helicopter here, and that's here for the protection of these guys. That's here for their safety. I mean, it's when we have the situation and we feel that it's that volatile, we want to take care of that and actually get in front of anything. And matter of fact, it might not be a bad idea for a guy from ATF if.
Guy, can you get close to the mic, please?
Yeah.
Morning, Guy McCormick. I'm a supervisory special agent with ATF here in Nashville. You need me to come over a little more? Okay, sorry about that. Appreciate the sheriffs and all the support they've given us. What we're doing out here today is we have a number of our certified explosive specialists, our bomb techs, with support from not only the troopers, who have been fantastic, but a number of other law enforcement agencies, and like the sheriff said, too many to name, and I'd be doing them a disservice if I try to name them all, up there helping us right now. In a situation like this, what we find is that when these explosives are subject to the event that took place, which is heat, the explosion being thrown, pressure, they can change and they can become different than how we know them to act. So right now, all of our bomb techs, our explosive specialists, are up there very thoroughly, methodically trying to make safe the area so that when our national response team comes in this afternoon, that area can be as safe as possible for every law enforcement up there, so we can go ahead and make sure we do that search and recovery efforts in the safest manner as possible, and that's what ATF and our partners are doing right now.
One of the things that I know that you may have heard that's also on scene, TBI is on scene with their rapid DNA. They use that term, rapid DNA, and this situation is going to be, again, very hard because of the circumstances, because of the devastation. Can we get an idea of some DNA? Absolutely. Here again, we want to make sure that we're taking the time to confirm. Anytime we do anything like that, we always want to make the confirmation for our families, for everybody that's involved and that's concerned. Patience. We're asking for patience. The community's outpour of support, unimaginable. We have people, Sheriff and I have had people and other sheriffs from across the state to reach out to us. We're very appreciative of that. Jason?
Okay, at this time we'll take some questions. Nicole?
Davis, earlier you said you've not recovered any survivors. Does that mean you presume that all 18 people missing are dead?
We're making the, now keep in mind there were, and I don't want to have confusion here, there were some folks that were on the scene that were involved. Those are not including that. It's time, again, and I'll reiterate the comment that I made, I can tell you more than people have been through almost every square inch of this facility, and at this time we've recovered no survivors.
Does that mean you're holding out any hope for survivors?
Hope's always in my heart, but I don't want to give it false. But we're going to have to slow walk that because of the scene, the way that the scene is, and as devastating as it is for any type of true confirmation.
Jeff, does that mean you're no longer in the search? Anybody's found.
At some point in time, we've got to rip off the Band-Aid. Can I tell you, and I alluded to it yesterday, it's not like working a accident. It's not like working a tornado. We're dealing with explosions. And I would say at this time we're dealing with remains.
Sheriff, are you still in the search and rescue phase, or are you now in recovery?
We're moving to recovery, sir.
Sheriff, you mentioned that
Hold
the
on a minute.
situation.
Hold on a minute.
Thank you, sir. Can you say that you have at this point?
As of currently, we're in the process of the identification of the remains.
So can you say how many you've successfully done at this point?
I can tell you by other means that we can tell you who was in the building at the time of the explosion.
And then you can say whether they're alive or dead. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to. What can we tell people? There's 18 people missing as of last night. What can we say now?
I think the expectation of anyone that was inside that building and anybody that we can probably make the assumption, and I'm not even going to use the word assumption, I think that we can utilize, well, I have to use that word, forgive me, we can assume that they are deceased at this time.
And you said that you saw things that were more volatile. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, there's we're dealing the type of facility that we're talking about, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. The type of facility, the ordinance, the type of facility that this is, the things that they deal with, how they make it. It's more explosive devices, and when we have explosive devices of that we don't know their gas makeup that's changed, the compound makeup has changed. I'm not a chemist. I don't want to get into even try to get over into all of that. But when these professional folks tell me that we have a very volatile scene and that we're going to have to be extremely slow, methodical. Hold on, sir.
Sheriff, you said the situation is developing. So is the public safe? Can we anticipate more detonations possibly?
Well, we can possibly. We are going to possibly have some of those that we're going to have to dispose of in some way, form, or fashion. We have got it set up and arranged to where we're going to have a notice that's going to come out to you guys, as well as trying to put it out to the community if that does take place or when that takes place, and we will try to answer that.
Sheriff, have you ruled out foul play?
Again, we're in an investigative type situation. And can I say we're going to rule out foul play? We can't answer that. That might be days or weeks or months before we can do that. And it's like I've said every time before, we have one shot at this, and we're going to take our time to make sure that we do the very best for our people and those victims involved. Hang on just a second, somebody here. Yes.
Question for ATF. With your preliminary assessment, is there any cause that you have identified so far?
So I really can't answer that question right now. Like I said, our national response team, who are really the worldwide experts in all this, who are coming from all over the country, will be here this afternoon. They will begin their long, thorough investigation to determine the cause and origin of this explosion. That information will probably get out to you guys in the next days and weeks to come as they do their investigation and develop that.
All right, thank you, everybody.
She had
One more
last
question.
Do you feel like there's any risk to anyone outside this facility at this point?
I do not.
Thanks, everybody. We'll update you as to when the next press conference is. We'll try to make the EDF available to the experts. So if you have those technical questions, we'll be able to get those for you. The Humphreys County Emergency Management Agency Facebook page is the official page of notification. So if you're not following that, I would encourage you to do that. Otherwise, we'll be back when we have some more things to share. Okay? Thanks, everybody.
Guys.
All right, guys.
Agent McCormick. Agent McCormick. Oh. I was going to ask if the national people or the national.
Okay, hang on a moment here.
They're on it.
Okay.
So, now it says playback starting soon. Whoa. I wonder if, hang on. There's a chance that, I don't know if they'll do this. I wonder if they can play it back with better quality or something. I don't know. So I do apologize. So just so you guys know what happened there, I have to pay for the footage I use. Both Reuters and AP were supposed to cover this press conference. Shortly before the start of the press conference, I heard from Reuters, they basically use cell signals, but they have this equipment which basically combines a bunch of cell phone signals, but they're still using the cell phone signals to do this. Reuters basically said right before the press conference, we can't cover this anymore because we're getting such a bad signal. And AP said, well, we're going to cover it, but you could just see that their signal was so bad that we could fortunately hear a bunch of it, but we couldn't see much of it, and some of it we couldn't hear. So I really apologize. That's not a common occurrence. Once in a while it happens. So it's not, I guess the cell phone signal there is very, very bad. And they couldn't plug into the internet, I guess, because it was outside. If it was indoors, I assume they could maybe plug into a hard internet connection. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do. Both of the providers, one of them had to not cover it, and the other one had that. So maybe they'll play it back. It says playback starting soon. So I do wonder if they're going to play it back. So, again, I do totally apologize. It's a rare situation when that happens, but it happened. What we did here is they don't have a cause yet. They're still investigating. They don't have a cause. It sounds like there's no bodies even. It sounds like they're just dealing with remains and not bodies. They haven't found any survivors. It pretty much sounds like they assume all 18 people are dead. You heard they were asked about bodies, and it was just like, well, they used the word remains. James said we got the gist of the conversation. Yeah, at least I think we heard enough to get the general idea of what was being said. No, this was not streamed on like the local media. As far as I'm aware, they weren't streaming it on the local media, on the local police, site and that kind of thing. Do I think it was a criminal act? So there was a question asked about foul play, and I couldn't hear the whole answer, but maybe I'm wrong. But my sense was that they were basically saying they were investigating it still. It didn't sound like, the ATF, if I remember right, said that they were still trying to make sure the place was safe before they could bring other investigators in. So it sounded to me like the ATF was now maybe I missed something. I can replay stuff if there's stuff you caught. I was concerned with the quality of the broadcast while it was going on. But I do remember the ATF said something like that they were worried, they were trying to make sure the place was safe so other people could go and start investigating more. I can't. I don't just have an option to just buy it from everybody. Somebody said you should pay this person. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You have to reach agreements with these companies, and you can't just pick and choose each stream you want to buy. And once in a while, it just happens that, it's a remote area. They're having it outdoors. It wasn't the local feed. My guess is that I think one of the local channels was carried. They probably had a satellite truck there to do it. Just once in a while, I really do apologize, but once in a while it just happens that way, So again, I was supposed to have two different feeds, and one couldn't even do it, and the other one was that one. So it just happens sometimes, Yeah, it doesn't, but there's no option. You can't just call up anybody right before and say, hey, I want to buy your feed. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, I'll ask about getting a refund for that one because there was such problems with it, or a credit, you know what I'm saying. So, but that's for later. Big Daddy said it sounded like they were concerned that some of the unexploded compounds could still go. Yeah, I think you're right, Tanks-a-Lot. Didn't he say something that it would be weeks or months or something to rule out foul play? Maybe we can replay the questions again. So I was waiting to see. This still says playback starting soon. Oh, hold on. Hey, guys, I just got an update from AP. Guys, AP says they are going to replay the feed, and it should be good, I guess. AP just said, they said a short while ago, we're going to refeed it from the start. The internet is really bad on the ground. So shortly, we're going to have the replay from AP. And supposedly it's going to be better. I just saw that from AP. A bunch of other news outlets are talking to AP about this because they were using the AP feed too. So AP does say that they are going to refeed it. That's why it says playback starting soon. And it is supposed to be better when they refeed it. Okay. I don't know how they do that. I don't know if they maybe they record it as well as, well, that's probably, they must be making a recording of it while it's happening or something, and then upload that. All right, so again, for those still with us, AP says that they are going to play it again, and it's going to work, and that's why it says playback starting soon. Okay, so that's what they said. But they said the internet is really bad on the ground. That's also what Reuters said. Okay. It's a combination probably of where it is and also the fact they were doing it outdoors. Roberson also talks about lots of people hitting a cell tower. Yeah, I'm guessing a bunch of the news outlets, they were probably trying to use the cell signals. That is a lot of news outlets do that when covering something remotely. They use this technology which lets them basically combine a bunch of cell signals. But if the cell signal is really bad, that's a problem. So, I can't comment on other channels, but all I can tell you is I can only use the feeds that I have the rights to. I can't take every single feed for the internet for my personal use. So again, one of the feeds I had the rights to didn't work. The other one you saw, but they're going to be replaying it shortly, and it should be better when they replay it. Starlink, well, they maybe in the future, I don't know, I'm sure eventually technology improvements will prevent this kind of thing from happening. Why wouldn't they use a satellite truck? Well, I'm sure satellite trucks are expensive, and somebody like AP or Reuters probably doesn't have a satellite truck in every city. So I'm sure for expense reasons, for a bunch of things, they will use this technology, which normally works fine. And I also don't know if Starlink would work well enough for them. I don't know. The technology they use to do it by cell signal is actually, it's not cheap technology. It's expensive. But again, it says on the screen, playback starting soon. They say they're going to play it again. So we're just waiting for the refeed. But that's what I want to show you. In the meantime, let me see something here. In the meantime, let me get updates about this. Hang on a moment. So thanks for bearing with me while we wait for the refeed. Excuse me. Oh. Let me change the headline. I'm going to say, coming up, replay, better quality of press conference. It does sound like, though, that they don't think there are any survivors. They don't know why it happened. All that they're finding is remains and not bodies. What else did people notice? One of our viewers said they had another explosion in 2014. AP says in 2014, an explosion occurred at another ammunition facility in the same small community, killing one person and injuring at least 3 others. Dennis Davenport thinks unsafe work environment. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Wallace says they're still uploading the video. I don't. Hopefully, they have a better, a faster way to upload the video. But normally they don't do this. Normally, AP wouldn't do a playback like this, but they're doing it because they know that the quality was so bad. Maxie Puig says, how very sad. Marissa Pugliese says, so sad for their families. Yeah, it's really terrible. I mean, you have a bunch of families who have relatives who are missing, but they don't even have the confirmation yet that the relatives' remains have been found. It's terrible. Our viewer, Kessa Cupcake, says, I have a family member there working IT for the city. He's been working nonstop. All right, so again, we are waiting for the replay, which is supposed to happen at any time, of the press conference with better quality. Bobby Kiefer says, inherently dangerous work. Again, I'm sure there's all kinds of precautions taken at a plant like this. I think it was the sheriff who was speaking, and he certainly was getting emotional, as you can understand. Hold on a second here. All right, give me a moment. Give me a moment here. We are waiting for the replay. Thanks again to our moderators. I really appreciate all of our mods who are here. Beth Mythical and Ruth Kafasi, Danny James, Janet B. They are over there on YouTube as we wait for this playback of the press conference. Also, our moderators on Twitch, LB Prairie Dawn, thank you. Also, thanks to Gonzalez on Facebook and Jeff Bezos and Fish Like It's 1999. Gonzalez says, I feel like it was a gas leak. It's my most realistic theory I think of. That's what Gonzalez said. Linda Belk, Larry, and Misha over on X, thank you for moderating. And our moderators on Facebook, I really appreciate it. We have moderating Kay Lowry Body and Margaret Riley, Shannon Davis Hughes, thank you. Dub says, I feel bad for the locals. They have been through a lot the past few years. Music Muse says, depressive and dismal situation. Fred Flintstone says, in today's environment, you can't rule anything out. John Flick says, small town area. The people at the press conference and the victims probably know each other. I think that's what John was saying. Rob M says someone was found safe at home. Yes, one person, the number of missing went down by 1 yesterday, or in the past day. WSMV reported that one of those believed missing was found safe at home, citing officials, says Reuters. We are still waiting for the playback from AP with better quality of the press conference. If you didn't join us, if you're just, thank you, Jean-Paul Lachance. I very much appreciate it, Jean-Paul. Thank you. If you're just joining us, kind of a strange situation with this press conference today. I was supposed to have two feeds of it, one from Reuters, one from AP. I pay for the feeds. Both of them were using, as many news agencies do for this kind of thing, they were using technology that uses cell signals to transmit the broadcast. Not a telephone, but a special piece of equipment that uses a bunch of cell phone signals from different providers to transmit from a remote area. And apparently the cell signal was so bad that Reuters, right before the stream, said, we can't cover it. And AP, right before the stream, said, AP said we're covering it, and then it turned out that the quality was just really bad. So what AP is doing is they are going to refeed the entire press conference with better quality, but we're just waiting for that. So again, it's very rare that happens. I'm very sorry about it. There's nothing I could do about it. Normally, when they say they're covering it, then they just cover it and it's fine. So we're just waiting. We heard a bunch of the audio and saw some of the video, but we're waiting for the refeed. Yeah, live view. I think they're probably using live view, as Mr. Eon said. That's what it's called. And sometimes like AP will just have the local feed, but they didn't have that today. I think it depends on, AP. These news agencies have agreements with certain local channels, but not all local channels. So one local channel might be covering something, but the news agency doesn't have an agreement with that local channel. Dwayne says the whole building was a flashpoint, nothing left. It still says playback starting soon. So, like you, I am just waiting for this. Let me see if I have any updates here. I also check the news for other updates on other things while we wait for this to start. There was a shooting in Mississippi, by the way. AP says 4 dead in shooting that injured others after homecoming football game in Mississippi, official says. I'd seen that 12 were injured in that. Oh, thank you, Irish Sweetness. I appreciate that Irish Sweetness. Thank you. Yeah, so Fox News said that that in Leland, Mississippi, at least 4 people got killed and 12 injured. They say it was at an event taking place during homecoming weekend. Yeah, the New York Times had this similar report saying at least 4 dead and a dozen wounded in Leland, Mississippi, which was celebrating homecoming weekend in a shooting. So I don't know. It's a little confusing. So the New York Times says that people who went to the game after the game gathered near Main Street where the shooting occurred. So it seems like it was after the football game. Also, the mayor said all the victims appeared to be adults. So we'll keep an eye on that. Well, again, we're just waiting for this refeed of the press conference to start. I'm sorry for the delay. It was announced today that in that press conference that no survivors have been found. They haven't found any survivors from this blast. DPA, some of our viewers were mentioning a shooting in Germany. DPA News Germany says several people were injured in, I don't know how to pronounce it, Giessen, Gießen, after someone fired shots in the marketplace. I don't really know what that's about. Hold on a second here. According to Welt, I think it's pronounced, W-E-L-T, Germany, that shooting in Germany, one outlet said the shooting happened at a sports betting office. I don't know if that's true. We're still waiting for this live feed to start. Hold on a second. Hey guys, okay. All right, so I just got an update from AP. For those who want to wait with me, they say the newser from Tennessee will be refed at approximately 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, the video journalist is en route to a location with a better internet connection. Okay? So, again, in about 15 minutes, there's going to be a refeed. I'm sorry for the delay. I'm committed to staying on for it. And the video, the person who shot the video, I guess, literally has to drive to a location or somehow go to a location with a better internet connection. They just posted, the AP just posted that. So I will wait for it. I do greatly apologize for the inconvenience today, and I appreciate everybody tuning into the broadcast. Normally, this does not happen. But they said in about 15 minutes. But I just saw it right now. At least they gave an update. There were a number of news channels asking them about this feed. Judith says those areas just don't have internet like most are used to. Again, another problem is that they had it outside. If you have it inside, sometimes they can just use like a hardwired internet connection. But they were having it outside. One Body in Christ said, you previously said you don't have rights to AP video. Yeah, so about several months ago, I made a deal with AP where I can pay them for their videos. That was new as of several months ago. I mean, I have to spend more money. But yeah, we used to not, but I, thanks to the support of people who support the channel, I was able to purchase the rights to some AP videos. So that's what we did. Beth Mythical says it is a small community. So we will have that for you. Again, in about 13 minutes, the refeed is supposed to begin. F. Bashir says, was this a small town? So it happened, the area where the plant is a pretty remote area. Let me just see if I can, I'll show it to you here. It's called the, hold on. It is called the Accurate Energetic Systems plant. While we're waiting for the press conference to be refed, let me show you on Google Maps where it is. It's a pretty remote area. It's about 60 miles southwest of Nashville. So real quick, let me put this on the screen. You see right there it says, hold on. Oh, I know what I have to do. There. So you'll see it on your screen in a second, but there's Nashville up here. And about 60 miles away is Accurate Energetic Systems. And there is the building, is that building there. So, I mean, if you look around there, you can see it's pretty remotely located. But that is the building where it occurred right there. And as about 10 minutes until we'll have we're supposed to get the better version of the press conference, the better quality version to play for you. As I showed you before, that from Google Maps is the building where it happened, and then the picture of the building is here. And that's from WTVF. That's AP photo from WTVF. They took that, that's from their footage. And just to go back and forth here, there's the before. You can see the parking lot on the top, the round road around the building. And then here's the after. And the building's basically gone. A fish like it's 1999 says there's a lingering fire going on there. at a different building. Is that true? I mean, I don't know if they said that in the press conference. I had some trouble hearing some of the stuff. Well, we'll hear shortly. And I'll just zoom in on this picture again. That's from WTVF via AP. That's what it looks like where the building was. 'Harmless Mouse thinks that's why they build those out there in case something catastrophic like this happens. Kyle Hamill says there was a reason it was in the middle of nowhere. 18 people right now are believed to have been killed in the explosion. 18. Oh, now I have to do something else. Hold on a moment here. Let me just do one other thing here. Give me 1 second. I got to do one other thing. As we wait for the feed. Give me a second. One moment. Get rid of that. That's going to go black. Then I'm going to, here's this one. Let me put this up here. I just got to do this real quick. I know this looks kind of strange, but I will have it fixed in a second. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. And let me just put this over. Hang on a second here. Nope, that's not what I want. I want to do this. Put that here. And okay. Okay, and now we're going to put up on the screen. We got about 6 minutes until the playback is supposed to start. About 6 minutes. No, 18 combined dead and missing. And the missing are believed dead at this point. How many people work there? One of the articles I read right before the press conference said it's not clear exactly how many people were working there, lost and found. So thanks for your patience as we wait for the refeed of the press conference. Hey, our viewer Mystified Saint says, I live 15 miles away and felt the house shake. I actually feel like this story, it's such a terrible story. I feel like, I mean, there's been a lot else going on. I guess I feel like it should have been even maybe covered more. I don't know. I just feels like it's such a big, it's terrible. And it's an explosion where 18 people are presumed dead. So I feel like the story was maybe a bit under the radar for what it was. We don't know how the explosion happened yet. It's being investigated. Again, in about 5 minutes, we're supposed to get the playback. I didn't even have, another thing, it was the day it happened, I didn't even have access to any of the press conferences. It's a pretty remote area. So I couldn't even show a press conference the day it happened because I literally didn't have even the option to with the footage I have. Stephen Elder says, with so much calamity in our world, it's easy to overlook things. Oh, Joe Soul wrote in and said, I worked and trained in ammunition supply, both stateside and in Iraq. Anything from poor storage to poor handling could cause something like this. Thanks, Joe Soul, and thanks for your service. Michael Jin wrote in and thinks that there might have been a forklift accident where a forklift dropped something sensitive or backed into it. I would wonder if they would have precautions to prevent that kind of thing. I don't know. Thank you, Michael, for writing in. I'm checking some of the other messages people have sent me. So, in about 3 minutes, supposedly, we are going to get the playback of the press conference. If there's other big news this weekend, I will come on the air and cover it for you. A couple of our viewers mentioned to me something that I had actually reposted, I think several hours ago. Several hours ago, NBC News said that according to a spokesperson for former President Biden is undergoing a new radiation therapy and hormone treatment as part of a treatment plan for prostate cancer. NBC News says this marks a new point in his care. So best wishes to him. He is 82 years old. Last month, he also had a skin cancer treatment. But his physician said about that all cancerous tissue was removed successfully and no further treatment is required. That was for the skin cancer. But again, NBC News today said a spokesperson for Joe Biden said he is undergoing radiation therapy and hormone treatment for prostate cancer. So again, best wishes to him. So in just the next couple minutes, hopefully in the next couple minutes, we will have the playback from the press conference about the Tennessee explosion, which the original video, the live video, was very low quality because of the bad cell signal there. So AP is about to replay the playback. They said that their video journalist actually had to go to another location with a better internet connection to refeed the press conference. And again, I really apologize. I hate when people tune in and they don't get what they tuned in for. Although, look, at least we were able to, as some of our viewers said, we could get the general gist of the press conference. We certainly were able to hear a bunch of it. So it wasn't like we couldn't get anything from it. But I do apologize. Again, once in a while these things happen. Thanks to CC on Twitch, by the way, and Patention on Twitch. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks to all of our subscribers on Twitch who support the channel, like Nashville Lou, The Lost Alien, Quake Clouds, Drunk Can't Cook, Anatolian Alt, and all of our other Twitch subscribers. Also our Facebook subscribers too, like Sharon Klassen Goslin, Chuck Mosca, Margaret Riley, and Robert Rial II, Shannon Davis Hughes. Michael Clayton. Thank you, Facebook subscribers, for your support as well. And our YouTube members, while I have a second, people like Sea Chase, Kiwi, Big Daddy K, Beast Mom, Storm Laughter, thanks for being members on YouTube. Babs, Kiwi, Marissa Pugliese, Macro Geek, Tanks a Lot, Thomas Darwin, Holstrand, Matthew Felty, Sydney, UV, Kiwi, Criminy, Ryan Annie, Zool Grunt, all of our other YouTube members, thanks. Truth WSYF, Storm Laughter, Red Girl, Naomi Nocturnal. All right, it is currently any moment now, we are supposed to, this is what AP says, any moment now. They said it's expected to be around 7 Eastern time, right? Do I have that right? Hold on a second here. Not 7 Eastern time. It's supposed to be around. It's supposed to be not 7 Eastern time. It's supposed to be around 7 Madrid time. 7 Madrid time. That's what it's supposed to be. And it is 7:02 Madrid time right now. It's supposed to be 7 Madrid time when they refeed it. Yes, 17 GMT, and currently it is 17:02 GMT. Everybody still watching should get a little medal or something for sticking with the broadcast. I do appreciate it. Madrid is 6 hours ahead of Eastern time in the U.S. It's very rare. I mean, this is not something that they do not commonly replay the feed on AP, but they're doing it because the quality was so not great. No, it's not paused. It's live. It's live. I can see it multiple places. It is live. The live just says playback starting soon. Hey, thanks to Kim Hayes. Good to see you, Kim Hayes. Thanks so much, Kim. I don't see any other updates yet from AP. So the last update said it was supposed to start about 4 minutes ago. Mauricio thinks it'll be 2 more minutes. You know, eventually, it'll just be, I mean, live streaming is still, it's so signal dependent. You know, I do think eventually satellite internet might just be so good that it won't be an issue anymore. It's not like that right now. I mean, I sometimes will do a personal live stream, as I sometimes do when I'm traveling, like now. I've done a few live streams on my personal channel from Madrid, and it's the same thing, you know. Some places you don't have a great signal, but it feels like the kind of thing where eventually it won't be an issue anymore. Simon the OG says, "Are we there yet?" Yeah, again, I'm just waiting just like you guys. Jamie Alexander, no, we don't know why it blew up yet. I think they said something like it might take a while. Did they say in the press conference it might take like weeks or months to determine why? I think, but I'd like to just see the full thing so we can be sure. Jim's YouTube channel says, I have been waiting. Yeah, about 25 minutes ago, AP said, the newser from Tennessee will be refed as our video journalist is still en route to a location with a better internet connection. They said the refeed should be starting around 17 GMT, which was 6 minutes ago. Dave F. thinks it will take weeks, months, and years. You know, another thing I don't know is like you could have a situation where, you know, depending on what you could have a situation where somebody faces criminal charges like criminal negligence or something. I mean, I have no idea what the cause was, but we have no idea what this, you know, we don't know what the cause is going to be determined to be. There could be civil lawsuits. So maybe nobody will be charged. Maybe there'll be nothing to charge anybody over. I would certainly think they have. I would certainly think at an explosives factory, in particular one that is making stuff for the military, they would want to have some sort of surveillance cameras there, right? Am I wrong about this? Doesn't that just seem like common sense, just in case there's some kind of issue? Sarcasm BTC says, I'm sure there is footage in the cloud. Marissa Puglia says, you would think. Bella says, it does make sense. Kiwi says, absolutely. Right, the Zulgrunt says cameras might have been destroyed, but I would think that they would just plan for that and maybe have it remotely saved. Distant Galaxy said the security footage had to have been stored off-site. Random Roulette thinks it's need to know top secret information. Jay Wright says, is the news driving to Nashville? Well, again, the AP said they were expecting it to be refed around 9 minutes ago. This has been a big it's been a broadcast of delays. So originally it was supposed to start at 5:30 where I am. It is now 7:09 where I am. Although sometimes we cover, like, for example, presidential press conferences that start an hour or more late. So in the big scheme of things, it didn't start that late. Scoosbird says, this must be devastating to a small community like this. Probably a large proportion of them work there or know someone who does awful. Hunster says, to be fair, the site is rather remote, so it would take a while to drive to the nearest server. I still have not seen any update, any change of plan from AP. So But I'm committed to doing all I can. When I say we're going to show it, I want to show it for you in its best form. Oh, what is this? I'm going to post a link. I don't own this. I just saw Daily Mail posted a satellite photo showing the damage at the building. That's interesting. I hadn't seen that before. I'll post a link to it in the chat of this Daily Mail article that shows a satellite photo of damage to the building. Yeah, I don't know. In terms of Starlink, I'm sure if Starlink was better for these agencies to use, they would use it. I don't know, there's various reasons it might not be better for like a for like AP or Reuters to use it when covering remote events. I'm sure they look into any kind of technology they can use. G664 neighbor of the beast suspects foul play. Epic All says, I watch Storm Chasers and it's very spotty. So, I mean, I know a number of people use it. So, but again, there's specific needs that these news agencies have. Now what's happening? What's happening here? Still waiting. DJS says, I'm sure there's security footage, but I doubt we'll see it. Northwoods Hiker thinks it'll be weeks or maybe months before we hear more. It is now 14 minutes. It is now 7:14 p.m. my time, 1:14 Eastern time. AP previously said that the newser would be refed at approximately 14 minutes ago. Yeah, Big Daddy K said sheriff said that. I thought the sheriff said something like that, but look, I'm hoping this replay starts soon so you can see it. You know what? Once in a while, we have these broadcasts where something like this happens, and we just have to roll with it. We just have to roll with it. Nina Drew says, we are rolling. Should also see if I have any other photos I can show you in the meantime. Let me check that out. Oh, Reuters had a little article about deadly industrial accidents in the U.S. this century. They pointed out that in 2023, there was an explosion at a chocolate factory in West Reading, Pennsylvania, where 7 were killed and 10 injured. That was the R.M. Palmer R.M. Palmer Company candy manufacturer. That was in West Reading, Pennsylvania in 2023. The NTSB report found natural gas that was transported through a pipeline leaked into and accumulated in the basement of the building. The gas ignited, causing the explosion. So that happened in 2023 at a candy factory. That was due to gas. In 2017, there was the Didion mining plant. 5 people were killed and 14 injured in an explosion at the Didion milling plant. In 2017, 5 people were killed and 14 injured in an explosion at the Didion Milling dry corn milling plant in Cambria, Wisconsin, in May of 2017. The U.S. Chemical Safety Board determined the accident was caused by the ignition of combustible corn dust inside process equipment, which led to multiple explosions. That was in 2017. As our Jim's one of our viewers, Jay Wright, says, I think a few months ago there was one in Pennsylvania at a steel facility, I think, as Jay mentioned. In 2014, there was an accident at the DuPont LaPorte facility. 4 workers in 2014 were killed and a 5th was injured in November 2014 in LaPorte, Texas, when methyl mercaptan, a toxic chemical used in the company's insecticide and fungicide manufacturing process, was released, according to the U.S. Chemical Safety Board. In 2013, there was a fire and explosion at the West Fertilizer Company in West Texas that killed 14 people and injured hundreds more. I vaguely remembered that. Wow. That was the West Fertilizer Company in West Texas in 2013. A fire and explosion killed 14 people and injured hundreds more. That explosion resulted from an intense fire in a wooden warehouse building that led to the detonation of approximately 30 tons of ammonium nitrate stored in wooden bins. Wow. That was in 2013. Kung Fu Gaming says, I felt that one in Waco was massive. That was in West Texas in 2013. 14 dead and hundreds injured. As we continue to wait for this to start, the news, the restream of the press conference. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010, about 50 miles off the coast of Louisiana, that was an explosion aboard the Deepwater Horizon drilling rig. That killed 11 workers and unleashed the worst offshore oil spill in U.S. history, dumping 4.9 million barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico over 87 days. A national commission traced complex causes of the well blowout to a series of mistakes by BP, Halliburton, and Transocean that revealed systematic failures in risk management. Oh, thanks, Beast Mom. Beast Mom, the hostage exchange is not today. The hostages, I believe, according to President Trump, are supposed to be exchanged possibly Monday. There's no hostage exchange today. Thank you, Beast Mom. I appreciate that. I'm just going over, Reuters had a report about some recent industrial accidents in the U.S. Imperial Sugar Refinery, 2008. An explosion caused by combustible sugar. Wow. An explosion caused by combustible sugar dust killed 14 people and injured 36 at the Imperial Sugar Manufacturing Facility in Port Wentworth, Georgia in February of 2008. 36 workers were treated for serious burns and injuries. And then 2005, BP Texas City Refinery, 15 workers were killed and 180 injured in an explosion at a BP refinery in Texas City, Texas. In March of 2005, a series of explosions occurred during the restarting of a hydrocarbon isomerization unit. The explosions occurred when a distillation tower flooded with hydrocarbons and was overpressurized, causing a geyser-like release from the vent stack. So all of those were in the last 20 years, basically, and they were all in the U.S. Los Cuatro Jinetes says lots of stuff you would never think would be hazardous are in certain conditions. I almost want to check in with AP again. They haven't updated yet. I'm really sorry. AP had said that they expected the refeed to be about 22 minutes ago. And we're now 22 minutes after that. If we don't get it in a couple minutes, I'll write to them. I'm really sorry. I really want to replay this for you, but I have no control over when the replay will start. Goobert says all kind of dusts are flammable. Bella says we are just chilling. Well, hopefully very soon. Let me just check something here. Lucia Harizo says the explosion wasn't recorded somewhere. It might have been. It might have been recorded from somewhere, but it hasn't been released to the public. I'm going to message them in 1 minute. I will message them asking about the refeed. They said it was approximately, again, supposed to be approximately 25 minutes ago. I just messaged them. I'll let you know what they say. One of our viewers said, I hope the refeed begins before I have to go to work Monday afternoon. Yes, so we showed what for those who don't know, The press conference, I had two sources that were supposed to show it, Reuters and AP. They both were relying on, as many news agencies do, on a cell signal technology to be able to broadcast it. The cell signal was so bad that Reuters literally could not do their stream. They had to cancel their stream. And AP's feed was just really bad. Like the video was all in and out. We could hear, I'd say, most of it, but the video was really in and out. So AP said, well, we're going to refeed it. The video journalist is going to go to a different location with better signal and upload it. And that upload the refeed was supposed to start about 25 minutes ago. But normally they don't do a refeed. But you see it says playback starting soon. We're still waiting for it. But I'm trying to get an update. Yeah, I can't. One of our viewers said it's on that somebody else has it. Another news outlet has it. Again, I cannot just take footage from any news outlet and use it on my channel. It doesn't work that way. I can only use what I have the rights to. Nashville Lou thinks 8K press conference video ingestion takes time. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't need 8K. I haven't heard back from AP yet. I am looking also at I think Steve Witkoff speaking. I think Steve Witkoff is speaking in Israel right now. I could put that on in the corner. Sorry. Hang on. Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are speaking in Tel Aviv. Give me a moment, and I'll put that on the screen for you. If I can. While we're waiting for this. I need a second to get it on the screen for you. Something. Okay, I see it here. I am going to put on the screen for you Steve Witkoff speaking from Tel Aviv. I'll put it in the corner while we wait for the replay of the press conference. Okay, here it is. Hang on a moment here. That's not what I want to do. There. Let's see if I can make this work. Let's see if I can make this work. All right, that's there. So I want to move this down. Hang on a moment. All right, there's Steve Witkoff. Let me start playing it live. There's him. Here's him. All right, let me see if this works. Go to live.
He is the greatest president in American history, and we're here because of him. He showed the world that strength and peace go hand in hand. They are not opposites, they are partners. To the Arab leaders and partners of ours who meant so much in this negotiation, including President Erdogan from Turkey, including Sheikh Mohammed from Qatar, including the Emir, including President Sisi, all of whom played a critical and an integral role in this peace deal. I say thank you. Each of those Arab friends and partners of ours, each of them come from nations that chose reconciliation over resentment. Thank you for showing that the future of this region can be built not on the ashes of old hatred, but on the promise of shared hope. And now, from the depths of our hearts, we honor the families of the hostages.
Hey guys, so I just heard back from AP. AP says, we have apologies for the delay. We have the file and working now to set it up for playback. So AP actually has the file with the press conference on it, and they say they are setting it up for playback. Okay? So meanwhile, we'll keep playing this live video of Steve Witkoff, but soon we should have the replay. Sorry for that. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Thank you. But if you keep me here all night, then Jared and Ivanka won't get to talk to you. Your courage has moved this world, I say to the families. You have prayed through endless nights and never let the world forget who your loved ones are. And in this way, you honor and you bless them. To the hostages themselves, our brothers and sisters, you are coming home. Your faces, your names, your stories have lived in every heart here tonight and in mine since I began this job. Your endurance, your faith, your will to live have been symbols of the human spirit that cannot ever be broken. And now, as you return to the embrace of your families and your nation, know that all of Israel and the entire world stands ready to welcome you home with open arms and endless love. And let's not forget the people who have lost children who are not coming home. Members of a very terrible club that I'm a member of myself. We remember the heroes and the innocent souls who are no longer with us, those who were taken from us on that terrible, tragic day, October 7th, and those who have given their lives since then in defense of freedom and their nation, in defense of this country, Israel, in defense of peace. Their memory is a blessing. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. From their courage, we draw our strength, and from their love, we find our purpose. This piece is their legacy. It is a promise that their lives will not be remembered only in sorrow, but in the hope of a future without fear. So in closing, I say, may God bless the souls of the fallen. May God bless the hostages and their families as they return home. May God bless the state of Israel. May God bless the United States of America. And may God bless Donald J. Trump, the greatest president the world has ever seen. Thank you.
I agree with you. Thank you, Witkoff. I've had the great honor for the last 10 months of working with Steve very closely, even more so in the last month. And I have to tell you, it's been an honor to me to work with such a special man who's approached this impossible task with a full heart and with a full commitment. And when things got tough and we ran into brick walls, every time that happened, we just said, let's make a new plan, let's try again. And that's what being partners with Steve was like.
So just to remind you, as it says on the screen, we are waiting momentarily, supposedly, we are going to get the refeed, the playback of the press conference of the Tennessee press conference. Any moment now, that's supposed to happen. We've been waiting for a while, but it is supposed to happen at any moment. So in the meantime, I am putting on this live video where we're seeing Jared Kushner address people in Tel Aviv. Okay? So, but as soon as the refeed of the Tennessee explosion press conference with the better quality comes and starts, we will show that. Thanks for your patience.
Went to the hotel room and I was looking at videos and trying to speak to whoever I could to get information. And I just stayed there all night and I cried. Seeing some of these acts that were committed on that day made me think about how fortunate we are to have a society with rules and laws and people with morals. And seeing these horrific, barbaric acts shocked me to my core in a way that I'll never be the same. Since then, my heart has not been complete. And it's been a tremendous burden that I felt to see these hostages come home. To see their families get the closure they deserve and to end this nightmare. And also to see the suffering end for the people in Gaza, who, for most of them, were experiencing this through no fault of their own, other than being born into a situation that was horrific. We're not going to celebrate tonight. We're going to celebrate on Monday when the phase 1 gets into conclusion. But what I did come here tonight to say was that I couldn't be more proud to see the way that the state of Israel and its people have carried themselves through this traumatic, unthinkable, horrific experience. Instead of replicating the barbarism of the enemy, you chose to be exceptional. You chose to stand for the values that you stand for. And I couldn't be prouder to be a friend of Israel, somebody who supports Israel, and somebody who fights very strongly to see Israel survive, succeed, and to achieve its fullest potential. All I know, and I have complete confidence in this, is that what will rise from this trauma will be a level of greatness, a level of achievement, a level of impact on the world, a level of leadership that Israel has never seen. And I encourage you all to go forward, to seize that opportunity. And as we close this chapter, let's learn from the challenges and the pain of the last few years. And let's do our best to make Israel, to make the region, to make the world as peaceful, to build bridges of understanding, to eliminate hatred in ourselves, hatred for others, and to really lead with love and understanding. So I thank you all for the tremendous commitment you've all shown, for the support that you have given to these amazing families through such a horrific time. And just the final thing is, I just want to thank the amazing soldiers of the IDF. Without their heroism and brilliance and bravery, this deal would not have been possible. So really want to give a big tribute to them. So God willing, we've accomplished the first phase. It's been very, very rocky. Steve and I will one day tell the stories. They'll make you laugh, they'll make you cry. It was crazy. I noticed he had no four-letter words in his speech because I think he used them all up in the negotiation. But I think that it's a really great thing, hopefully, to celebrate Monday. So really an honor to be with all of you tonight, and I'll introduce my wife who wants to say a couple words.
Thank you, Kushner. And thank you, Steve. And thank you, President Trump. Tonight, as we stand here together in Tel Aviv, we honor the strength of every family waiting, praying, and believing. Over the last 2 years, the President, myself, Steve, Jared, and so many of others have met these incredible people, and I am in awe by their strength and conviction in spite of such suffering. And the President wanted me to share, as he has with so many of you personally, that he sees you, he hears you, he stands with you, always, always.
I'm seeing the refeed. The refeed's happening right now. The refeed's happening. Refeed of the press conference right now. Look, check it out. Check it out. Here we go. Here it is.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jason Pack, a special agent with the Department of Safety for the state of Tennessee, one of the public information officers here. Today we'll have Sheriff Davis and Sheriff Kraft deliver the latest updates, and we'll begin with Sheriff Davis. Sheriff Davis.
Good morning. One of the things that I want to start with and I want to reiterate, we are still dealing in a slow, methodical method. As we get into this, we find it even more devastating than what we thought initially. And that takes us into the fact of the slow process. We got communities here. Sheriff Kraft and I both, on both sides, have communities that have been truly devastated. It's a tremendous loss, a great loss. The reason I get emotional for that is anytime before I speak to y'all, we always speak to the families. As to be expected, they're very upset. There's a gauntlet of emotions there that's with those folks. And as always, we always like to excuse me, ask for prayers and thoughts for those families. But as we move forward, we've had changes to this scene even this morning. And what I mean by that is we're finding some of the scene is naturally, because of where we're at, has more ordnance that's on it. We're finding things that's more volatile as time has went, or as the explosion has damaged or influenced those ordinance in some way, form, or fashion. Part of the process yesterday that was so slow, we always want to be very transparent with you, but we've gone to extremes as working with the FBI and being able to do things with the phones and identify what phones went off at the time of explosion, trying to figure out everything inside the scene. I can tell you that we've had more than probably 300 people. That's done very delicate, very methodical things inside the scene. And at this time we have recovered no survivors. Again, it's a great loss to our communities. Sheriff Kraft.
As Sheriff David said, like I said, this thing is changing constantly. Like I said, we're trying to do our best to take care of the families. AES has been great sitting up with family support. FBI, ATF is also here, TBI, about any, I can't even think of all the departments that are here.
I'm scared to name them all.
It's just been overwhelming with all the help that's come in to assist with this tragedy that we're dealing with. Like I said, it's changing minute by minute. Like I said, we found out this morning some changes in the safety protocol and what we're having to deal with, and it's like we were already going slow, and now we're slowing things down even more, just for safety for everybody.
And that's exactly one of the questions that we had, or no one coming into this conference. You see the ambulances here, you see the helicopter here, and that's here for the protection of these guys. That's here for their safety. I mean, it's when we have the situation and we feel that it's that volatile, we want to take care of that and actually get in front of anything. And matter of fact, it might not be a bad idea for a guy from ATF if.
Guy, can you get close to the mic, please?
Yeah.
Morning, Guy McCormick. I'm a supervisory special agent with ATF here in Nashville. You need me to come over a little more? Okay, sorry about that. Appreciate the sheriffs and all the support they've given us. What we're doing out here today is we have a number of our certified explosive specialists, our bomb techs, with support from not only the troopers, who have been fantastic, but a number of other law enforcement agencies, and like the sheriff said, too many to name, and I'd be doing them a disservice if I try to name them all, up there helping us right now. In a situation like this, what we find is that when these explosives are subject to the event that took place, which is heat, the explosion, being thrown, pressure, they can change and they can become different than how we know them to act. So right now, all of our bomb techs, our explosive specialists, are up there very thoroughly, methodically trying to make safe the area so that when our national response team comes in this afternoon, that area can be as safe as possible for every law enforcement up there, so we can go ahead and make sure we do that search and recovery efforts in the safest manner as possible, and that's what ATF and our partners are doing right now.
One of the things that I know that you may have heard that's also on scene, TBI is on scene with their rapid DNA. They use that term, rapid DNA, and this situation is going to be, again, very hard because of the circumstances, because of the devastation. Can we get an idea of some DNA? Absolutely. Here again, we want to make sure that we're taking the time to confirm. Anytime we do anything like that, we always want to make the confirmation for our families, and for everybody that's involved and that's concerned. Patience. We're asking for patience. The community's outpour of support, unimaginable. We have people, Sheriff and I have had people and other sheriffs from across the state to reach out to us. we're very appreciative of that. Jason.
Okay, at this time we'll take some questions.
Sheriff
Nicole?
Davis, earlier you said you've not recovered any survivors. Does that mean you presume that all 18 people missing are dead?
We're making the, now keep in mind there were, and I don't want to have confusion here, there were some folks that were on the scene that left. We talked about that, that were involved. Those are not including that. At this time, again, and I want to reiterate the comment that I made, I can tell you that more than 300 people have been through almost every square inch of this facility, and at this time we've recovered no survivors.
Does that mean you're holding out any hope for survivors?
Ma'am, I never want to give up hope. Hope's always in my heart. But I don't want to give false hope either.
Right, you said you're checking DNA, right?
Well, again, we are doing the DNA, but we're going to have to slow walk that because of the scene, the way that the scene is, and as devastating as it is for any type of true confirmation.
Sheriff, does that mean you're no longer in the search?
Any bodies found?
At some point in time, we've got to rip off the Band-Aid. Can I tell you, and I alluded to it yesterday, it's not like working a accident. It's not like working a tornado. We're dealing with explosions. And I would say at this time we're dealing with remains.
Sheriff, are you still in the search and rescue phase, or are you now in recovery?
And we're moving to recovery, sir.
Sheriff, you mentioned that
Hold
the
on a minute.
situation
Hold on a minute. She had one.
Thank you, sir. Can you say that you have informed family members that you have identified the remains of their loved ones? And if so, how many remains have you positively identified at this point?
As of currently, we're in the process of the identification of the remains.
So can you say how many you've successfully done at this point?
I can tell you by other means that we can tell you who was in the building at the time of the explosion.
And then you can say whether they're alive or dead. I'm sorry, sir. I'm just trying to, what can we tell people? There's 18 people missing as of last night. What can we say now?
I think the expectation of anyone that was inside that building and anybody that we can probably make the assumption, and I'm not even going to use the word assumption, I think that we can utilize, well, I have to use that word, forgive me, we can assume that they are deceased at this time.
And you said that you saw things that were more volatile. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, there's we're dealing the type of facility that we're talking about, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. The type of facility, the ordinance, the type of facility that this is, the things that they deal with, how they make it. It's more explosive devices, and when we have explosive devices of that we don't know their gas makeup that's changed, the compound makeup has changed. I'm not a chemist. I don't want to get into even try to get over into all of that. But when these professional folks tell me that we have a very volatile scene and that we're going to have to be extremely slow and methodical, and that's what we're going to do. So,
have you ruled
yes,
out
ma'am.
foul play?
Hold on, sir.
Sheriff, you said the situation is developing, so is the public safe? Can we anticipate more detonations possibly?
We can possibly, we are going to possibly have some of those that we're going to have to dispose of in some way, form, or fashion. We have got it set up and arranged to where we're going to have a notice that's going to come out to you guys, as well as trying to put it out to the community if that does take place or when that takes place, and we will try to answer that.
Sheriff, have you ruled out foul play?
Again, we're in an investigative type situation, and can I say we're going to rule out foul play? We can't answer that. That might be days or weeks or months before we can do that. And it's like I've said every time before, we have one shot at this, and we're going to take our time to make sure that we do the very best for our people and those victims involved. Hang on just a second, somebody here. Yes.
Question for ATF. With your preliminary assessment, is there any cause that you have identified so far?
So I really can't answer that question right now. Like I said, our national response team, who are really the worldwide experts in all this, who are coming from all over the country, will be here this afternoon. They will begin their long, thorough investigation to determine the cause and origin of this explosion. That type of information will probably get out to you guys in the next days and weeks to come as they do their investigation and develop that.
All right, thank you, everybody.
She had
one more question.
Do you feel like there's any risk to anyone outside this facility at this point?
I do not.
Thanks, everybody. We'll update you as to when the next press conference is. We will try to make the ATF folks available, the experts. So if you have those technical questions, we'll be able to get those for you. The Humphreys County Emergency Management Agency Facebook page is the official page of notification. So if you're not following that, I would encourage you to do that. Otherwise, we'll be back when we have some more things to share. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys.
Agent McCormick. Agent
Okay, so
Oh, I was going to ask if the national people, are the national people coming here?
They're on.
Okay.
so that was the press conference. So I'm glad we eventually got to show it to you in better form. So we're going to take some comments from you guys. So something I noted, first of all, they kept saying that the situation is changing. So it sounded to me like they were certainly concerned with possible harms and risks at the scene to responders. So they're dealing with potentially dangerous stuff at the scene. I don't know what the nature of it is, whether they think there might be another explosion or something, but they want to keep the responders safe. And they talked about having to slow down, so that certainly is a concern. They did say that they had 300 people searching, I think, every inch of the scene, and they found no survivors. And they're not going to find any bodies under debris, basically, is what they're saying. Some of our viewers say unexploded ordnance. Was that exact? I can't remember. Was that exact phrase used? There were. I had to make a couple adjustments, during this stream with things. So like sound and stuff. So I miss little things. So I don't remember. Did they say unexploded ordnance? Is that what they said? I'm not sure. That very well could be the case. I believe they talked about ordnance, but I don't remember how specific they got. Also, some of our viewers were mentioning phones. I don't know if phones was said, there's various things they said that could be risky for people there. So they've had to slow down, and they say the scene kind of keeps changing with that thing. Now, when was the phone thing mentioned? I'd like to replay the phone thing. When was the phones? Was that at the beginning? I can replay that. Does somebody remember where that was? Early, right? Very beginning? Very beginning briefly? Yeah, I was, so let me just go back and see if I can play that for you. But it really sounds like the sheriff said they know who is in the building. They know. I don't know if that's because of surveillance video or whatever. I wouldn't be. The sheriff seemed confident that they knew who was in that building and that there's 18 people. And the sheriff seemed pretty darn confident that they're all dead. That's what it basically sounded like. All right, I want to just see that part. Let's just see. So the sheriff, right when he started talking, did he mention the phone early? I'm going to replay this just so we can see if we can get that phone mention. Okay, hold on a second here. Oh yeah, Chris N says maybe they badge in. Some people are saying, Lisa Sawyer says computer checked. By the way, thank you to Hebrew Jerusalem Prince, who was wondering why the governor wasn't there. Now I can't speak to that. I don't know why the governor was not there. So I do not know. That was what Hebrew Jerusalem Prince asked. I don't know if Bill, the governor, posted about that. I know he posted about it, but I don't know. Maybe he has addressed not being there. I'm not sure. I don't have the background on that. Yesterday, Governor Bill Lee posted on social media saying we are monitoring the ongoing situation. We asked, and he also said, I'm not going to read the full message. He said, we asked Tennesseans to join us in prayer for the families impacted by this tragic incident. All right, let me They talked about whose phone went off at the time of the blast. Let me play this again to get that phone mention. I'm just playing this again, just the start of it again.
With the Department of Safety for the state of Tennessee, one of the public information officers here. Today we'll have Sheriff Davis and Sheriff Kraft deliver the latest updates, and we'll begin with Sheriff Davis. Sheriff Davis.
So again, I want to just hear the phone mention.
Good morning. One of the things that I want to start with and I want to reiterate, we are still dealing in a slow, methodical method. As we get into this, we find it even more devastating than what we thought initially. And that takes us into the fact of the slow process. We got communities here. Sheriff Kraft and I both on both sides have communities that have been truly devastated. It's a tremendous loss, a great loss. The reason I get emotional for that is anytime before I speak to y'all, we always speak to the families. As to be expected, they're very upset. There's a gauntlet of emotions there that's with those folks. And as always, we always like to excuse me, ask for prayers and thoughts for those families. But as we move forward, we've had changes to this scene even this morning. And what I mean by that is we're finding some of the scene is naturally because of where we're at has more ordnance that's on it. We're finding things that's more volatile as time has went or as the explosion has damaged or influenced those ordnance in some way, form, or fashion. Part of the process yesterday that was so slow, we always want to be very transparent with you, but we've gone to extremes as working with the FBI and being able to do things with the phones and identify what phones went off at the time of explosion, trying to figure out everything inside the scene. I can tell you.
Okay, so that was the mention of it. I'm sorry I missed it the first time. Again, sometimes I miss things because, I have to adjust the sound and do things like that during the press conference. But that's obviously an important thing. So he said that, what did he say exactly? What phones went off? But maybe that's how they know who was there, because of the phones? What was the exact language he used? The exact language.
That we've had inside the scene. I can tell you that we've had more than probably 300 people things with the phones and identify what phones went off at the time of explosion, trying to figure out everything inside the scene.
Yeah, that
I can
certainly
tell you,
that certainly sounds like he's, as some of you guys were saying in the chat. Thanks for pointing that out. It certainly sounds like he's saying that, yeah, as TGI code says, phones going offline, or another viewer says turned off. Right. So it sounds like they can tell maybe if a phone lost its signal or something, or suddenly disconnected at the time of the explosion. That's what it sounded like. It sounded to me like he's saying, that's how we can tell who was there. Because he certainly later sounded quite confident that they knew who was there in the building. Wow. Right, now Hooligan Grundy says they have work schedules, so I'm sure they would have an idea of who might be in the building. But, wow. So that's tough. Some of our viewers are asking if phones could be connected to the actual explosion. Yeah, I don't know. So they do not have a cause right now. The ATF said that their special team is en route. So they really haven't gotten into the, it didn't sound like they've really gotten into the deep investigation yet, because the ATF team that's going to be doing it is en route. And they said that there's ordnance there, and that when there's an explosion, it does things to the ordnance. So it's a dangerous scene. They're being very careful with the actual scene. But again, I'm guessing there's multiple ways they would know who's there, right? They would have a general idea who's working there. They might have security footage and all of that. People's cars are there, but it did certainly sound like phones, he said, went off at the explosion. So it sounded like something like phones losing signal at the explosion was important for them to figure out who was there. That's what it sounded like to me. I'll just play that one more time. I think it's important.
We've gone to extremes as working with the FBI and being able to do things with the phones and identify what phones went off at the time of explosion, trying to figure out everything inside the scene. I can tell you.
Yeah. So he literally says that with the FBI, they were looking at the phones that went off during the explosion to figure out everything inside the scene. That's what he said. So, Kay says the sheriff mentioned yesterday a few were taken to the hospital, but I haven't heard him mention those again. That's an interesting point. I don't believe that was discussed today. Now, there could have been people further away who were injured. He said, we have not found any survivors, which sounded to me like we haven't found any survivors in the wreckage when I heard that. Yeah, again, it did sound like they used some sort of signal change from phones when the explosion happened to help figure out who was there. I can just replay want me to just replay the rest of it one more time? I can just let it run for it's a few minutes long. Want me to just let it run? So you can hear the rest of it again? All right, let's just play the rest of it one more time.
That we've had more than probably 300 people. It's done very delicate, very methodical things inside the scene. And at this time we have recovered no survivors. Again, it's a great loss to our communities. Sheriff Kraft.
As Sheriff Davis said, like I said, this thing is changing constantly. Like I said, we're trying to do our best to take care of the families. AES has been great setting up with family support. FBI, ATF is also here, TBI, about any, I can't even think of all the departments here.
I'm scared to name them all.
It's just been overwhelming with all the help that's come in to assist with this tragedy that we're dealing with. Like I said, it's changing minute by minute. Like I said, we found out this morning some changes in the safety protocol and what we're having to deal with, and it's like we were already going slow, and now we're slowing things down even more, just for safety for everybody.
And that's exactly one of the questions that we had, or knowing coming into this conference. You see the ambulances here, you see the helicopter here, and that's here for the protection of these guys. That's here for their safety. I mean, it's when we have the situation and we feel that it's that volatile, we want to take care of that and actually get in front of anything. And matter of fact, it might not be a bad idea for a guy from ATF if.
Guy, can you get close to the mic, please?
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Morning, Guy McCormick. I'm a supervisory special agent with ATF here in Nashville. You need me to come over a little more? Okay, sorry about that. Appreciate the sheriffs and all the support they've given us. What we're doing out here today is we have a number of our certified explosive specialists, our bomb techs, with support from not only the troopers, who have been fantastic, but a number of other law enforcement agencies, and like the sheriff said, too many to name, and I'd be doing them a disservice if I try to name them all, up there helping us right now. In a situation like this, what we find is that when these explosives are subject to the event that took place, which is heat, the explosion, being thrown, pressure, they can change and they can become different than how we know them to act. So right now, all of our bomb techs, our explosive specialists, are up there very thoroughly, methodically trying to make safe the area so that when our national response team comes in this afternoon, that area can be as safe as possible for every law enforcement up there, so we can go ahead and make sure we do that search and recovery efforts in the safest manner as possible. And that's what ATF and our partners are doing right now.
One of the things that I know that you may have heard that's also on scene, TBI is on scene with their rapid DNA. They use that term, rapid DNA, and this situation is going to be, again, very hard because of the circumstances, because of the devastation. Can we get an idea of some DNA? Absolutely. Here again, we want to make sure that we're taking the time to confirm. Anytime we do anything like that, we always want to make the confirmation for our families, and for everybody that's involved and that's concerned. Patience. We're asking for patience. The community's outpour of support, unimaginable. We have people, Sheriff and I have had people and other sheriffs from across the state to reach out to us. We're very appreciative of that. Jason.
Okay, at this time we'll take some questions. Nicole?
Davis, earlier you said you've not recovered any survivors. Does that mean you presume that all 18 people missing are dead?
We're making the, now keep in mind there were, and I don't want to have confusion here, there were some folks that were on the scene that left. We talked about that, that were involved. Those are not including that. At this time, again, and I want to reiterate the comment that I made, I can tell you that more than 300 people have been through almost every square inch of this facility, and at this time we've recovered no survivors.
Does that mean you're holding out any hope for survivors?
Ma'am, I never want to give up hope. Hope's always in my heart. But I don't want to give false hope either.
Right, you said you're checking DNA, right?
Well, again, we are doing the DNA, but we're going to have to slow walk that because of the scene, the way that the scene is, and as devastating as it is for any type of true confirmation.
Sheriff, does that mean you're no longer in the search? Any bodies found?
At some point in time, we've got to rip off the Band-Aid. Can I tell you, and I alluded to it yesterday, it's not like working a accident. It's not like working a tornado. We're dealing with explosions. And I would say at this time we're dealing with remains.
Sheriff, are you still in the search and rescue phase, or are you now in recovery?
We're moving to recovery, sir.
Sheriff, you mentioned that
Hold
the
on a minute.
situation.
Hold on a minute. She had one.
Thank you, sir. Can you say that you have informed family members that you have identified the remains of their loved ones? And if so, how many remains have you positively identified at this point?
As of currently, we're in the process of the identification of the remains.
So can you say how many you've successfully done at this point?
I can tell you by other means that we can tell you who was in the building at the time of the explosion.
And then you can say whether they're alive or dead. I'm sorry, sir. I'm just trying to. What can we tell people? There's 18 people missing as of last night. What can we say now?
I think the expectation of anyone that was inside that building and anybody that we can probably make the assumption, and I'm not even going to use the word assumption. I think that we can utilize, well, I have to use that word, forgive me. We can assume that they are deceased at this time.
And you said that you saw things that were more volatile. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, there's we're dealing with the type of facility that we're talking about, and I'll come back to you in just a moment. The type of facility, the ordinance, the type of facility that this is, the things that they deal with, how they make it. It's more explosive devices, and when we have explosive devices of that we don't know their gas makeup that's changed, the compound makeup has changed. I'm not a chemist. I don't want to get into even try to get over into all of that. But when these professional folks tell me that we have a very volatile scene and that we're going to have to be extremely slow and methodical, and that's what we're going to do. So,
have you ruled
yes,
out
ma'am.
foul play?
Hold on, sir.
Sheriff, you said the situation is developing, so is the public safe? Can we anticipate more detonations possibly?
We can possibly, we are going to possibly have some of those that we're going to have to dispose of in some way, form, or fashion. We have got it set up and arranged to where we're going to have a notice that's going to come out to you guys, as well as trying to put it out to the community if that does take place or when that takes place, and we will try to answer that.
Sheriff, have you ruled out foul play?
Again, we're in an investigative type situation, and can I say we're going to rule out foul play? We can't answer that. That might be days or weeks or months before we can do that. And it's like I've said every time before, we have one shot at this, and we're going to take our time to make sure that we do the very best for our people and those victims involved. Hang on just a second, somebody here. Yes.
Question for ATF. With your preliminary assessment, is there any cause that you have identified so far?
So I really can't answer that question right now. Like I said, our national response team, who are really the worldwide experts in all this, who are coming from all over the country, will be here this afternoon. They will begin their long, thorough investigation to determine the cause and origin of this explosion. That type of information will probably get out to you guys in the next days and weeks to come as they do their investigation and develop that.
All right, thank you, everybody.
She had
one more question.
Do you feel like there's any risk to anyone outside this facility at this point?
I do not.
Thanks, everybody. We'll update you as to when the next press conference is. We will try to make the ATF folks available, the experts, so if you have those technical questions, we'll be able to get those for you. The Humphreys County Emergency Management Agency Facebook page is the official page of notification, so if you're not following that, I would encourage you to do that. Otherwise, we'll be back when we have some more things to share, okay? Thanks, everybody.
Guys.
All right, guys.
Agent McCormick. Agent McCormick.
Okay, so we got to
I was gonna ask if
replay
the
that
national-
again. So
They're on.
Okay.
I also heard, Kay said that she heard that in a previous press conference that they had mentioned maybe taking to the people to the hospital, which I didn't hear. But at the same time, he did say, the sheriff said that previously they had mentioned people who had left the site, but the 18 people, it sounds like, are the people who they think were in the building. That doesn't include anybody who might have been injured or something. They didn't really update on other people who might have been injured in this press conference. But again, to be clear, the 18 people were people he says they know who was in the building. There's 18 people, and they're all presumed dead. So it's really terrible. And they don't know why this happened. And they're not ruling anything out at this point. Certainly condolences to the families of all those people, 18 people. It's really terrible, obviously. And we don't know why it happened. And they're not ruling out foul play, but it's going to be a whole investigation. Our viewer Nechama Glick says, it's so sad. This is so sad. Clearly the bodies are completely destroyed and they keep trying to get him to describe it. He is trying to be sensitive without saying the obvious. Yeah, he said he had to, at some point they have to rip off the Band-Aid. So basically they don't have actual bodies there. It's remains, he said. I don't even know if they have remains of all of them. I don't know if, maybe it'll be hard to find remains of all of them, or it's going to be a very painstaking process, I mean, it's such a devastated scene. It's terrible. Robert Nelson, our viewer, says, the place was completely leveled and could have residual explosives, so it makes recovery different. One of our viewers says they won't. So will they know if it's accidental? I mean, my guess is that the ATF will be able to figure it out eventually. Were they DOD employees or civilian? The company made explosives, and one of their clients was the U.S. military, but it's not a military company. It's a private company. Although I don't know if there might be military employees who work at the company or might have been there that day. It's a good question. I don't know. They did not think there was a risk to the public from the scene right now. Cybertruck says the investigation will be thorough. Happened in the morning. I think it happened around 7:45 a.m. And Jimmy Simmerd said there's no recording of the explosion. There might... we were talking about this earlier on the broadcast. Me and a number of our viewers think that we would not be at all surprised. I would think it's the case, and a number of our viewers think it's the case, that there's got to be security footage there on a plant that makes explosives for the military. I would think there would be security footage that they would have just in case something happens, and also just to make sure nobody, security purposes. So I would not be surprised if there is footage. I don't know if we'll ever see that publicly, that footage. But I wouldn't at all be, I would expect there would be. I may be wrong, but I would expect there would be. Evelyn in Maine thinks there have to have cams on that building. I'm not aware, when I looked into this yesterday, I did not see any scanner traffic talking about it, any scanner traffic available. DeAndre thinks we'll never see it. John says might have been destroyed. Well, again, we were also saying that if there are cameras there, I would think they would store the data off-site, the footage off-site, maybe in the cloud or something. Miss Pumbaa says maybe there's satellite images of the actual explosion. That's interesting. That's an interesting thought. I don't know. IOOT says hopefully there's cloud footage from CCTV. U.S. Rights and Freedoms thinks they must have footage. And thank you, Bullet 850, for being a member, who says they should probably use the military explosive ordnance team? Explosive ordnance disposal, Bullet said. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't know who they're using for this. Maybe they will use military explosive ordnance disposal. Okay, look, so, by the way, a couple of our viewers have mentioned ads. And I want to just, in the YouTube chat, and I want to say this again. This keeps coming up. About a month ago, people in the YouTube chat started saying, I'm getting ads in the chat. I do not know why that's happening. I do not run ads in the middle of the live streams. If you're watching the broadcast afterwards, you might get an ad, but I have it literally turned off to have ads in the middle of the live streams. I do not know why people in the YouTube chat are getting ads. I have asked YouTube about it. They don't seem to know. the people I talk to. So I don't know why you're getting it. For all I know, it's something that some people are getting in their because of something in their browser or something. I just don't know. But please know, I have ads turned off during the stream when it's live. So I'm very sorry that you're getting it, but there's nothing I can do. It's literally turned off on my end. You will see an ad on YouTube maybe when you start the stream, but not during the stream. So if you're getting them during the stream, there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry about it. Again, I've asked YouTube about it. They didn't seem to know what was going on. And I will ask them again, because people keep talking about it. I will ask them again. I don't know what it is. It's frustrating for me too. Okay. What I'm going to do is, so I really appreciate people sticking around for the stream, for the replay. I'm very sorry that when we first showed the broadcast, the footage was bad of the press conference, but I'm glad we were ultimately able to get you, although it took a while, the good footage of the press conference. So I'm going to start. I'm going to wrap this up right now. I'm in Madrid, Spain. I'm going to be here for a little while longer. But I do really appreciate people sticking around for the footage. And I do greatly apologize. Once in a while, it's not often, once in a while we have an issue where we're covering something in the footage. There's an issue with it. And that's what happened today. It was a really bad cell signal there. And Reuters ended up having to cancel their stream. And the AP stream was bad when it ran. But they were able to get the good version uploaded later. Again, I very much appreciate people's patience, and at least we were able to hear a lot of it when it first aired. But thanks for those who stuck around. Thanks for sticking around, and I'm sorry about that. Doesn't happen often, but once in a while it does. I'm going to start wrapping up this stream. If there's some huge update on this, we could do another stream about it. Otherwise, if there are updates, I'll post them on my X account at Lookner on X, where I post breaking news updates. You can follow me over there if you want. If you're on X, I'll actually show you that right now. Where is it here? I need to put it on the screen right there. There it is. That's my X account at Lookner, so you can follow there if you'd like. And I will post updates there. And I mean, if there's some huge update, we can always do another stream. I really appreciate people tuning in, and thanks for people who've been posting in the chat and letting me read your comments on the air and sending me updates. Our viewer JDA wrote in and said that regulations often protect workers. Often regulations protect workers. And JDS says the regulations cost the uber wealthy a little. So our viewer JDA says that, this is our viewer JDA says, if regulations get cut, it could make this kind of thing more likely. That's what JDA, our viewer, said. I missed that comment before. Thanks, JDA, for writing in. Okay. So I am going to wrap this up right now, but I appreciate you guys being here. And if there's other big stories while I'm here, I will do my best to get on the air and cover them. Yeah, some of our viewers are mentioning Taliban and Pakistan fighting. I haven't had time to look into it. I'll look into it. I don't know in the big scheme of things if it's some huge new thing or something that's kind of something that happens more regularly. So I just need to once the stream ends to look into it. I'll look into it when the stream ends. Yeah, I just have to take some time and look into it. This is Agenda Free TV. If you'd like, you can subscribe, follow. We cover all kinds of live breaking news without an agenda. Agenda Free TV. Subscribe and follow. I would suggest turning on the notifications for the channel. That'll get you. You'll get sent a message whenever we go live. I don't know in advance when we're going live because I don't know when big breaking news is going to happen. But our mods can post a link to the free notifications in the chat. We have our own notification system, and you can also find a link to the notifications on YouTube and Facebook in the description of this video. And so I very much appreciate everybody joining, watching the stream. And also, huge thanks to our moderators. They're the best. They're the ones who are always here, allowing us to have chat rooms, keeping things civil and respectful in the chat. So thank you so much to our moderators who have been here today. Ruth Krafasi, Beth Mythical, Beezy over on YouTube, and all of our other moderators over on YouTube who have been here, on Twitch. Matthew Kohai 3 and all of our other moderators on Twitch who've been here today. Kay Lowry Body, Margaret Riley, Shannon Davis Hughes on Facebook, and any others who've been there over on Facebook. Thanks so much for moderating there. And on Linda Belk, Larry, and Michon X, thanks so much to our moderators. Also, thanks to everybody who donated during the broadcast. I owe a couple more thank yous on that, by the way. I don't know if I got them before. Kristen McConnell Gates and Sharon Klassen Goslin, I believe, gave Facebook stars. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate it. Also, Jimmy Simmerd and Cal 2019 are members on YouTube. And also I owe a thanks to Sevenfold. Thank you, Sevenfold 777, for your support, and everybody else for your support of the channel. That's what lets the channel exist and buy news footage, which usually works great. Today was a little bit of a hiccup, but eventually we were able to watch the broadcast. So thanks so much for your support. And hang on a moment here. One other way that's a good way to know when we're going live is for those of you on X, follow us on X at Agenda Free TV. I always post there before we go live, and I post updates about the channel there at Agenda Free TV. Also, what was I going to say? We have a chat where you can chat with other viewers when we're not on the air, the Discord chat. Check it out. It's free, and a bunch of our viewers like doing that. It's the same, to get to the Discord chat, it's the same link as the free notifications link. So check out our Discord chat. Big thanks to our Discord moderators as well. And for those of you who watch on YouTube, I would suggest turning on the YouTube notifications, another good way to find out when we're covering live breaking news. To do that, it's a little bit confusing or a little bit tricky on YouTube. What you need to do is subscribe to the channel, then click this bell right there, and then choose all notifications. That is how to set up the YouTube notifications. If you are already subscribed on YouTube, make sure you have the bell checked and you have chosen all. Okay, also thanks to all of our Facebook subscribers for all of your support, like Shannon Klassen Goslin, Kristen McConnell Gates, Helen Anderson, and thanks, Helen, I think for your support on the previous stream, which I missed. Thank you so much, Helen Anderson, for subscribing and supporting. Margaret Riley, Kay Lowry Body, Shannon Davis Hughes, Robert Rial II, Michael Clayton, and Chuck Mosk, and all of our other Facebook subscribers. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. On Twitch, our subscribers over there, like Barcodable, Chi-Town Bear 54, My Florida 22, CC. Thank you, Pathless Cross, for subscribing. I owed Pathless Cross thanks. And also Patension for subscribing. CC 143, thanks for the bits and for being a subscriber. Stunned in the North, thanks for subscribing. Thanks to our other subscribers like Wall Street and Shaggy, Quake Clouds, and LFLPS, FLP5S ... and Grit and Glitter, Annie Cush, let's see here. Strong one. And all of our other subscribers over on Twitch, thanks so much for subscribing there. And our YouTube members, thanks for being members. People like Ruth, Val Cargo, Bella, Link to the Jake, Evelyn in Maine, CAC813 Batman, Jelly Plain, Jean Romaine, J.K. Senar, Sevenfold, Pat W, Sean Texas, OPR357, Chris N, Jimmy Simmerd, Batman, and others. Thank you. Corey B. All right, so I am wrapping up this stream. I do very much appreciate you being with here, and thank you for your patience with the video today. And that is it for now. I do expect while I'm in Madrid to also be posting some more live streams on my personal channel, which is Lookner on YouTube, and Look Nerd with a D on Twitch. That's my personal channel where I sometimes post live streams, personal live streams, and I probably will post some more from Madrid. But that is it for right now. Again, condolences to the families of the 18 people missing and presumed dead in the explosion at the Tennessee explosives plant. Just terrible. But that is what we were covering today. And I will post updates on my X account. If there's some huge update, maybe we can do a stream on it. But that is it for now. Thank you for watching. We will see you soon with more live breaking news coverage right here at Agenda Free TV.